Guess what, Vinny? We're live.
All right.
Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Beer Battered Thoughts. I get to hear myself talking for once. Because I can hear the echo of Vinny's setup here.
Wait, let me. Is that better?
We'll see. That's a little better.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, Vinny, thanks for coming on the show. Beer Battered Thoughts. We're going to cover a couple of things. I'm trying to get this. Oops. Now it's sucking on my phone. Okay, there it goes. So Vinny, welcome to the Beer Battered Thoughts. Hey guys, I told you guys I'm gonna try to do my best to stream more often. I'm doing my best to do that. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna get to keep this up, but I'm gonna keep trying. Vinny, that's okay. Now it's getting annoying. But
all right, let's see. All right, let's.
Can you still hear me?
Go ahead. Yes. All right.
Okay,
yes.
cool. All right. So I brought in Vinny. Vinny is the captain of the Rust Knights in southeastern Texas. I guess I would say southeast Texas. Really, it's like because it's San Antonio and Corpus Christi, right?
Right. We like to say South region, so South
region.
Texas.
I don't really say exact because it's like because you guys still got to cover like Houston and stuff like that because they're a whole different team.
Yeah, true. So,
but okay, South. I'm gonna say Texas South. Vinny, we're gonna start out the question like I always do. I start out with new people. Are you a beer drinker?
I'm gonna say a moderate beer drinker. So I'm not drinking beer all year long, but I do like to enjoy a nice beer especially after a hard fight.
Yeah, that's the best time to drink it. That's the most time I drink it.
Exactly.
I did give you a beer, and you lost it.
It didn't make it.
Did you lose it or you drank it?
No, it's just lost in the sauce, man. Yeah, because it got into a cooler, and the cooler went from truck to truck, and then to the Warlords, and just it didn't. I don't even know what happened to it.
So somewhere out there, someone is drinking my beer or drank it. I collected. I trusted you with my goods, and then you drank it. But I still have the beer. I have one of the beers that I gave you. I have my own because it was thrifty. So I gave you the oatmeal milk stout from Finkel and Garf Brewing. It's 5.5% alcohol, smooth, malty chocolate, and oatmeal stout beer. So just for the people who are bringing out the beers who are on a Sunday evening, one of the 2 days a week I get to drink a beer, I'm going to be drinking my beer. Vinny, but I know you said you had something, right? You were going to drink something?
I brought an Oscar Mayer Oscar Blues 1050, though, so coming in hot with the stout still.
So it still matches the stout.
Yeah.
I did not pour that right, but it's fine. Nice and dark. I thought I had another one I had, but I don't know what I had with it. It was like another stout I had that was like 10%. I don't know what I did with it.
I think this is a 10. Yeah, this is definitely.
This is a 5.5. I thought I gave it what I gave you was a 10, but I was like, oh no, this is definitely not. It's definitely a 5.5.
All right.
But Vinny, thanks for coming on, man. I know we've been trying to do this for a while. Then we were gonna do it, and then I lost my laptop. Then I had to replace it. Then I had another time. You were going to do it when you guys were here a couple weeks ago. And I kind of forgot about that.
That was a crazy day, too. So.
Yeah, it was a crazy day. And I kind of forgot. I was like, oh, yeah. And then somebody else brought it up. And I was like, oh, crap. I was supposed to do an episode with Vinny about the Rust Knights and things like that. And I completely forgot about it. But either way, still works. We got a beer. Toast to that. We're still on the show.
All right.
Oh, that's pretty good.
All right.
Nice and chocolate. Nice and chocolatey. But first things first, Vinny, introduce yourself to the people who don't know who you are.
So my name is Vinny Rajo, captain of the Rust Knights in Corpus Christi and San Antonio. We like to fight hard and have a lot of fun with it. So it's I feel like beer it's about half and half. You know, you gotta have fun beating up your friends and all just drink a beer after and lick each other's wounds and kind of just get on with the day. You know.
Pretty much. Vinny, you live in Corpus Christi or you live in San Antonio?
I live in Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi. So how many of your members of your team live in Corpus Christi? How many live in San Antonio?
So we have pretty much 2 in San Antonio, 1 in Gonzales, 1 in New Braunfels, and then about 5.
And 5 in the San. Okay. That's actually pretty. I think I've only ever really seen like 5 of you at a time, so I never really see. I never really know how many people are actually on the team. But I know I've seen you guys with other people, but for the most part, it's usually like 5 at a time, never really all the time.
Yeah, it's funny because people ebb and flow, and it kind of works out where we just have 5.
Yeah.
5, 10.
Yeah. Usually it works. Honestly, sometimes it just works out like that. It's just like you just got just enough to field the team, and you're like, well, we're gonna Iron Man. This is gonna power through it. Maybe we'll pick up an extra person, but here and there. But
yeah.
I understand how that feels. The first thing I got a question for you, got to ask before we get to anything else about the Rust Knights. You got to tell me about the origins of the chicken, of the green chicken.
This guy, Henry?
Yeah, that.
All right, yeah. So this is a big 3-foot one, but I fight with a little guy, and we were coming back from Nebula Creek. Me and Brandon, we were working with SJK at the time. No, actually, that was the Outlaws, and that was our second event. We didn't have. He's noisy. He's very talkative, but we were coming back. We're all beat up, driving back to. I was driving back to San Antonio, then I was gonna drive back to Corpus. Went into a gas station, and on my way out, I saw a big old display of rubber chickens, and I was like, kind of like, am I going to do it? Am I 12 years old? So I go back inside, get one, and I'm walking up to Brandon, who has 2 daughters, so I'm like walking up with this rubber chicken behind my back, kind of like, and he's just looking at me like, what did you get? And yeah, pretty much I squeaked it the whole afternoon. And Mr. Henry has been a very big staple of the team so far. So for moral support and, just to kind of keep the morale high.
It's cool because what was it? I've seen like a couple different mascots. Like one of the guys who used to be on Palmetto had a squid. A couple people have like rubber duckies. I've seen some stuff. I think somebody had a teddy bear once. I've seen like the dragon head costume sometimes, like on top of their like things. So I've seen a lot of different things. Sometimes I see stuff and I'm like, huh, interesting, great addition. Sometimes I'm like, that's just weird.
It's so funny because I remember the first time I wore them was at Southern Star Brewery, and we were the first to fight against SJK, and I just remember sandwiching up against someone, and all I hear is, just like everybody starts laughing. I don't think I could ever fight without them. So.
No, it's like you find what works for you. Like what makes you stand out and like what's funny and makes you enjoy sport. I'm not against it. I just find it to weird. It's very interesting. Everybody finds like their little thing that does it that keeps them interested in the sport. So I'm not really knocking it. But what was the thing? So I wanted to talk about that, but I know you talked about how many people on Rust Knights. I guess I know for a long time. Like I remember you guys coming like maybe like a year ago to like some of the fights, like pro fights. And they like watched us practice at the Warlords. I guess my question is like, what was like the thing that said, okay, yeah, like we're gonna form this, and here's what the Rust Knights are. What inspired you guys to really start?
So about October will be our 1 year, and that's when I went. No. So I went to go watch some fights and went to go practice and watch y'all practice, and I just knew Houston was too far. And I knew I really wanted to do it. Practice up with Houston, and got, typical first day in armor, got railed and hit and slammed and all that good stuff. And I was just, if I'm not doing this, I'm doing kickboxing or I'm doing something else that's crazy. So I was like, you know what, it's time for there to be a Corpus team. And ever since then, we've been running with it. And my team's, tremendous help to get this growing. But yeah, it's been intense.
And you guys, I see photos. You guys like practice sometimes. Do you guys practice like in a barn or something like that, or open or an outdoor house?
So that's the Rust Coop out in Gonzales, and so it just so happens that one of our fighters is a 9-fingered chicken worker. So that's the Rust Coop, and it's part of his like facility. And so we go out there, and there's pallets and pretty Mad Max style. We go out there and fight all day and have some dinner and cook a little barbecue and just have a good time. So it's either that MLK Park in San Antonio or the dust pit in my backyard. And it's a dust pit because all my grass has been rooted up. So it's just, you get slammed to the ground, you stand up and you smile and you just got dirt on your teeth, and it's just the best thing. So
everywhere. Yeah, I think there's like some things for like people that like there's like little quirks and everything. I know people who do that. There's people who I know for like a little while, the Warlords, like when they first started, they were like practicing like in a volleyball pit. Like
nice.
Yeah, like I know I've seen some people parking like parking lots or like parks, just wherever you can get some time in. You're just gonna gotta go. So I don't knock it. But I know you guys have done some stuff. I know you guys can come up to us. I know that you've done some things with Outlaws and SJK, like some group events. How's it been for you guys? Because you guys have come a long way from just from when we first met you guys, when we first started to get you guys in that level clique to even to now.
So you're saying like how has it been for us, or
how's it been like so far? Been like these few events you've been doing?
Man, it's been outstanding, really. I'm real lucky that a lot of other teams of fighters have put a lot of footwork. I'm always asking Charlie and Tanner, a bunch of questions and seeing different outlooks on different situations, and just about, hey, what's some good questions. I remember when we were first starting, before I had my full kit, Charlie and Luke Linder actually came down to Corpus and just kind of had a little Q&A with me and just with whoever showed up, and just kind of, sat down and talked. But it's been, a lot of people are surprised of how fast our team's grown and how, quickly we're being, getting better. But a lot of that is attributed to just the support from the community, from the number of people just willing to help, and just hey, well, come help and come fight hard, and then come help the next guy, and that's something that I really want to pass on too. It's just helping San Antonio start their own team whenever there's enough fighters out there. So
no, I know that's. I think it's been really nice to see that. I know Charlie and Luke and some of the other people. I know we had traveled down, like me, Charlie, and Luke had traveled down to Houston to help them do some stuff. And I know they had asked me to go on that trip to you guys. I just couldn't make it. But I know that we're trying to grow more teams in Texas. Texas is a massive state, so there's like plenty of room for teams. Even the DFW, the Warlords, we cover Dallas, but like Dallas is 5 million people. You can get another team here easily. Just gotta decide if they're gonna do it or not. But no, I've liked it, the fact that you guys have kind of stuck with it. I know you guys have done like a couple of smaller events to kind of team with that. What's the goal for you guys to do like a large tournament, like a major tournament, like Carnage or Axnax or even Dragon Con or some of these other ones? What do you think?
Yeah, no, shoot. We're really looking to do pretty much all of the events. Where we kind of scrounge around and at least 5 guys, because we come from all it's typical Brewher team. Everybody comes from a different walk of life, so it's trying to see how we can get five guys together or find some mercs. But now we're planning next year doing Carnage and doing just as much as we can next year. So this year was kind of just, hey, let's build the team, get some fights in, get like a strong foundation, and then go from there.
Yeah. So what you're saying is no Reno this year, but definitely next year.
Definitely next year, yes, sir.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. I think, if had I known about it, had you guys known about it sooner, I'd be like, you guys should definitely just hop in the car and drive down and bring your team to Dragon Con because like it's so fun. Dragon Con's so fun. Like it's like a non. It's like a. It's like what you guys were doing before, like with Outlaws and things like that, teaming like a bunch of crowd, but way bigger. It's like 2,000 or 3,000 people there,
Oh,
watching
wow,
and kind of having fun. And just kind of this big giant room is just big packed, and they stream it around, so people are walking around seeing it. But you guys can have fun that because it's like it's low stakes and more so exhibition than it is anything else. But DragCon's pretty fun. You can still kind of have fun with it. But I would say definitely add that to next year. Like if anything, next year, I would even say if you could have made it this year, I would say made it this year. But I would definitely say because DragCon's in like a couple weeks, so it's probably too late to do that. But this year, but I would definitely say a tournament for you guys to go to would be DragonCon because I'm pretty sure you guys have fun doing that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that one's definitely fun. I want to ask you specifically, what was like? I know you talked about like you did the practice, but what was like the final decision that said, okay, yes, I am gonna do this? What was like the final decision for you?
It was either start a Boo Her team or do more powerlifting stuff. So I decided this, but really I really like how you get to go fight, a bunch of rounds because I've done boxing and kickboxing, and you get one fight that day and you go home beat up, the pumice beat out of you. But I really like the concept of going and fighting and as pretty much all day. So the more fighting, the better. That and, going in there and really customizing your little kit to exactly how you want and swinging a big axe if you want, or going in and jumping around and falling like me, So,
yeah. No, trust me, it happens even for me. I think what I like about you guys too is like sometimes when teams come to like to spar with like us, the Warlords and things like that, you guys seem like ready to learn, but it wasn't just like you were ready to learn, but you also weren't afraid to scrap either. So like sometimes teams will be like, we're gonna train with you guys like once and then we never see them ever again. So I'm glad that you guys stuck it out. Like I guess was your team, what was like because you guys were here a couple weeks ago. It was you guys, it was SJK, it was Tulsa Free Company, it was us, and there was a lot of different teams, and I'm glad you guys stuck it out, But I guess my question for you is on the ride back, do you guys feel like you learned a lot, or did you feel like intimidated? Like, man, we still can't, like, even when we fight them, we still can't, do much. How'd you guys feel?
Oh no, we all felt outstanding. I call my fighters maniacs. All of my maniacs, had a real good day. We each learned something. We're going back and reviewing because we have quite a bit of people, but not enough to do like 5-on-5s consistently. So that was a lot of first people's 5v5. So I was blown away really with the performance of the team. Everybody had a great time. Everybody loved the pace. No one thought it was too much or intimidated. All the maniacs just loved it. They love getting hit. They love getting slammed. They love returning it and just getting back in there and really pushing it. So no, everybody enjoyed it. Learned a bunch. I learned a bunch. And so it's cool to go to little events like that because I kind of break it down as what did I learn as a fighter, what did I learn as like a captain or a leader, and then what did I learn on a personal level. So that was I had so many points, that I learned that day. So it was a very good day for us.
No, I'm happy to know that because I think that sometimes teams don't learn from things, and then they'll get frustrated or they'll get intimidated, right? Especially if you're fighting against SJK, you're fighting against us, and you guys train with them on occasion, but not as much with us, So then then you throw in Tulsa Free Company if you guys never met before. So it can get, you get kind of intimidating. You have all these teams there. You don't know. You're tired. You're hurt. You're beat up. But I think as the day went on, like you guys went from, got even better towards the end of the day, even though you guys were dog tired. And you still did way better and still learned a lot more. And then we were able to, I joined your team. Austin was on your team. He walked you through some things. I showed you guys some things. You guys took that knowledge and then still used it and still started winning more rounds towards the end than you were in the beginning. So I think that was like that was a good learning tool for you guys. And I can't wait to see what else you guys are going to do. But I think that the future is bright for the Rust Knights. The Rust Knights. How do you guys come up with the name of Rust Knights? How did that name?
So a couple things. So the Corpus Christi is right on the Gulf, so the salt air rusts everything out here. So that was kind of it. And then also I have a leather company that I do leather work from, and that's Resinel Leather. So I was actually gonna do the Cleaved as the original name, but then the Rust Knights kind of just it kind of just stuck out, and it just stayed. So
yeah, I always thought about what I would name my own team if I had my own team. I have no desire to have my own team, but if like one day I just did, I think I would call them like the Order of the Batleth or something like that. Batleth Mob or something like that. I was really into Star Trek, and then for a while I was like binge watching like just weird Klingon fights for I don't know, for just randomly one night in the middle of the night. I'm like, yeah, I'll be like the Order of the Batleth or Batleth Crew or something. I don't know, Batleth Mob or something. Like, I don't know, something crazy.
Yeah,
but I have no desire, because being captain of your own team is a lot of work, as you can tell. I'm sure you know. It's a lot of wrangling, poking people. Hey. And don't get me wrong, I get my own like a little bit exposure to that, like when I do like stuff for like Knights of Wakanda, because like I'm the captain. I am the captain of that, but that's different. And then just getting them to do stuff is just like a reminder. Even the stuff they want to do, it's like, hey guys, we got to train, we got to practice. Are you guys training? I'm not. It's not probably so much of them training. It's like, hey, you guys wanted to do this thing together. Who's going? What we're doing it when we're going? Just like little things. So it's just gonna be.
Yeah, no, being captain's a ton of work, and but to me, going to a fight day and like helping the guys out and then popping their tops and they're just smiling ear to ear, even if they got taken down, that's the best feeling. And just seeing fighters progress, first they barely wear armor, now they're running and jumping and kicking. It's like, man, that's to me that's half of why I do the sport too. Seeing really teach progressing people, because people join this sport for all kinds of reasons, and a couple fighters that I've seen, and their confidence grows and grows as they get better with the sport, and just learning that they're not made of glass. Just going and fighting all day, just standing up is like, all right, cool, I could do that again. And just seeing them themselves improve as a person, man, that's what makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. So.
Are there? I know you said you kind of observed a lot and trained. Are there some teams out there that you're like, yeah, one day I want to fight them, or some teams or people like this? Like, yeah, I don't know about one day, maybe that guy. I don't know.
Man, honestly, all the maniacs and myself, we'll fight just about. We might get pretty rocked, but. We're watching Carnage, but like, yeah, we'll fight Kenny Az, and we'll go fight, Knights Hall, and we'll go fight, like we may get beat up, but like half of it is going and talking to guys and just scrapping, and just because we're a pretty scrappy crew, we're just getting in there, and if all else fails, you'll just see us punching people, I remember my longsword duel. Someone was Zach from Oklahoma was cornering me, and he was like, "Don't punch him; it scores no points." And I was just like, "Ha ha!" I was like, it just kind of default for us. We're all kind of a bunch of riff raps. So
I will say that it was like one of the rounds. I said to you guys like, "Hey, just slow down a little bit." You guys were so had so much energy, you just tired yourselves out. We were just like, we're just standing there, and it was like, you guys are working real hard, and no, you're not having so much energy. It was great. But at the same time, it was just like, you guys came in full speed at us. I'm like, okay, great. I'm like, all right, scrapping. And then just it fell out. You guys like, yeah, we're tired. You guys started dropping like flies. Not even really just over excitement and over just overdoing it. I was like, oh, okay, well, all right. I guess we'll got some things to work on, pacing and some things like that, some of those things. But you guys were just super excited. I love the energy. It was just like, okay, find a place for that time, and then we'll kind of work on the other thing.
Yeah.
We're pacing first. Calm down.
Mhm.
I know you're excited. You want to hit someone. I get it. I do too. Let's take a deep breath first. See, we'll dump deep breaths first before we get to that point. Did you happen to catch? I hadn't really done a review, but since you're here, a couple days ago we did the Friday Night Pro Fights. Did you catch any of the fights?
Oh man, I watched the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I've been watching as many Friday Night Pro Fights as I can, and it's always that the angles real good up in the back.
Yeah.
The lineup's always real good. Charlie's usually in there, always room for Charlie. Big old mask, and so it was real good. Yeah. I thought all the fights were good. I thought all the matchups were good. Man, Adam versus Mickey was freaking intense, insane. That was such a fight. Charlie actually, just seeing him kind of, you could see him learn throughout the fight, and that was so cool too.
And that's the thing about Charlie. Like Charlie's whole thing about pro fights, he doesn't really care about how it ends. He doesn't really care. He's mostly just trying and experiment with different things and learn how to fight with a two-handed axe, because he's been with one-handed axe and the small shield the entire majority of the 5 years he's been doing it. So now he's like, okay, let me learn to do something else. So now he's like just taking pro fights and doing stuff just to figure it out. And which sometimes it turns out okay. Go ahead.
There was the other guy who had been in armor for 2 weeks, and he won his pro fight. Man, that was the gentleman from the HEMA background.
Yeah, HEMA. Dax, who Charlie fought. Yeah.
Oh, is it Max or the other
Dax.
guy?
No, Liam's the one who lost. Liam's only did 2 weeks, but he lost. He lost to Kenny.
Oh,
but Dax had only been in armor maybe a month.
Yeah,
the HEMA background from armor, and he beat Charlie. Yeah.
He was moving well, It's just if he comes at me with an axe, I'm gonna be, a little shivering. Me and Henry be squeaking away. So
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't particularly like axe fights. I mean, they're fine, like they're entertaining to watch. I just don't want to do one. I did like a handful of duels, and I'll do it just for fun, or just like you want to screw around, like spar with it and just do some axes. Fine. You want to do some training at the academy, or you just want to screw around and do some axe fights. I'll do one for show, or just to screw around, but not one at a pro fight or a particular polearm. I'm good. I take enough axes during melees. I take enough of those hits during melees. They always hurt. Like I'm always just like getting my teeth and bearing it. This is going like okay, and I don't want to do that for 6 minutes one-on-one. I just don't need an entire time. No, it's good. I'm good with that. Like, I'm good. Was there a particular fight specifically that you were like, oh man, that was the one that you were like, yeah?
I really like what was it, Elise and Kelsey?
Yep. That was the first one.
Because Elise also had just kind of come back from not fighting, and it was going at it, and then I could see Kelsey had beautiful sword work, and then Elise just would close that gap, and you can really see just the dynamic of different styles just clashing at the same time. And I love to watch fighting for like the technical part, and that was even though it was a bunch of clashing, there was a lot of zoning, there was a lot of footwork, there was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like about the matchups we do, like at Warlord, like those Friday Pro fights. Sometimes you'll get people with very similar styles. Sometimes you have people with very vastly different styles, and you just love to see how it's going to end up. So like Mickey and Adam have a very similar styles of fighting, but Mickey hadn't really shown too much of it, and then he whips out these new techniques, and he's able to kind of win. And like you were saying about Elise and Kelsey, very different styles, and then just seeing how they interact and how they go, and it's just like, oh man, how's it going to turn out? And I've seen a lot of different fights and a lot of different cards that are just like, man, it's just never going. Even from the second fight, even Liam and Kenny, Liam's very mobile, very, very flows, and Kenny just like, nah, I'm gonna run it. You just wow, like, all right, wow. And he had just come back from a back injury, so you could really tell like how he just stands, like he's just like his back's just like, all right, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
you can see many different things. And it was nice. And Charles Harris, who hadn't fought in, he's done some melees here and there. He's been coming back slowly, training here and there, but hadn't fought a pro fight in 2-3 years. And came back and decided to take one like on 24-hour notice. Oh yeah, sure, I'll come in. So
and still did real.
It's still getting really good. He lost his shoe twice, but but still, like,
story.
But still, he was still willing to like take the fight at the very last second. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'll do it. So it's very.
There's just doing what we do, getting an armor and fighting, and then it takes a lot. It takes a lot of gumption, guys, balls, to do it, and then to do a pro fight is, man, that's even on such a short call. That's that's like, all right, cool, we'll go fight this guy who's been training nonstop.
Yeah, I've had to do that a couple times here and there, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna like it. I've had to do that twice, and I was like, oh, I'm fighting. Oh, okay, well, all right.
Because
let's do this thing. All right. I'm gonna make it entertaining. I can't guarantee I'm gonna win, but I'm gonna go in there and try to do my best. But no, but speaking of that, when we're gonna
what was that? Sorry?
Huh?
What was that?
I was saying I had to, my last pro fight, it was very last. I've 2 pro fights last season were like literally the day or two before. They were like, oh yeah, something happened. I ended up having to hop in. And I barely did any training leading up to that. And those people were like ready for it. I'm like, oh man, all right. I'm like, okay. I did want to fight somebody, so I'll go ahead and do it. Speaking of that, when are we gonna see you pro fight, Vinny? When are we gonna see it?
I actually talked to David from the World Academy, and we decided
November. I want to see that. I would like to see that. I think David's only done one pro fight. That was a year ago. He's cool with doing them, but he's like, it's like once a year. He's like, twice a year type of thing, and he's like, then he's done. He's like one maybe done or two. 1 or 2 done, but I think that'll be interesting. I think that'll be a good matchup for you because I think that's somebody who doesn't really train in him, doesn't really care for him, but will do it and then you guys are similar size, so I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're both kind of like short and stocky and kind of like just kind of charging in,
charging in. Like, all right, let's do this. So November, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna put some money on. I'm gonna remind David. I'm gonna remind Jim. Like, wait, this is gonna happen. November, Vinny, David, it's going down.
Yep.
Pro fight. Have you decided like what type of weapon you're gonna use? Axes? You're gonna do sword and board? What do you think?
I was thinking, man, I really like sword and buckler.
You guys going bucklers? Oh, you guys just really getting in there? Just
Well, I haven't talked to him about that. Or I guess I need to look at the rules. So I was thinking about buckler and sword. I guess he can choose his own. Or...
Yeah, you can use whatever you want.
Yeah, so just that buckler coming from like a kickboxing background, just having the big shield kind of limits me a lot. So having that little shield punch, really benefits me, and little hammer fist and stuff like that. So
and in the rules, you can pretty much use whatever you want. You don't have to use. We do it for like for entertainment purposes and just kind of like to kind of challenge each other's styles and to kind of make it even. But really, in the rules, as long as the pro fight weapon is pro fight weighted, you can pretty much use it. So if I wanted to use a heavy longsword and you wanted to use a sword and buckler, we could do that. It's kind of depending on what you're using. Kind of like fights can be very lopsided, depending, points can be like very difficult to. So that's how we kind of match them because it makes it more entertaining and dynamic and kind of fair. Because sometimes
then I'll have to reach out to David and see what he was thinking. So.
I'm pretty sure if you're gonna do buckler and sword, he'll be like, yeah, that's cool. He'll either want to do that or he might even say, let's do some axes. It's probably one of the two.
Ooh, I don't know about axe. So.
He might do it. He might whip it up. You never know. You never know what David's thinking.
All right, yeah.
The Neon Knight himself. You never know what he's thinking. You never know what he's thinking. But like before,
he's looking cool, man. He's always looking cool in like a suit. I'm like, I want to fight what's up? You know?
He's like, I'm taking your spot. I'm gonna try to get you. Gotta come. You gotta start wearing your chicken. Start getting your crazy outfits, and then you guys gotta start calling them out. Like, hey,
the Henry's coming into the profile, so definitely coming.
Yeah, you guys you gotta do that. You gotta take it to a whole different level. You definitely gotta take it to a whole different level. You gotta start taking this space.
Yeah, at the Southern Star Brewery, we did like the free for all, like the all the all.
Yeah.
I actually just went in butter and chicken, so you gotta
buckler.
Gotta do it. You just gotta do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I wish I had invited to the brewery thing. But I always want to go to fights at breweries. I think we did like a meet and greet at a brewery like a couple months ago. That's all we did. We never get to fight at a brewery. I want to do that though. That's on my bucket list of things to do. But I know you said you're a casual beer drinker, but what are your favorite types of beer?
Number one is a stout. If it's hot, if it's cold, if it's muggy, if I'm sweating, if whatever it is, a nice stout to me just kind of just goes on real smooth. It's pretty much stout or Lone Star. So yeah. I know it's kind of like two different sides of the spectrum, but it's stout or
Lone Star is more of a lager, like a traditional lager.
Right. And then we have a local brewery here in Corpus. It's Nueces Brewery. And if a lot of places in town have their beer on tap, so I get like the OG, it's just like the Nueces lager. So pretty much another Lone Star. So
yeah, I like stouts. Stouts are more to me like a dinner beer. Like I usually like because they're usually pretty heavy. They're usually this one's pretty light, but like 5.5%. But usually they're like 8, 9, 10, 12%. Usually I drink them for dinner. Like usually it's like a dinner. I like at the end of the night, I'm getting the high ABVs. I might drink one or two of those, have my dinner, and I'm like, all right, now I'm relaxed. I got my heavy food. Now I'm gonna go home and sleep. I'm just gonna go home and sleep hard. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. With my leather business, it's so funny because we had like a little market, and I pull up. The market starts at 8 in the morning, and I pull up in my little Chevy Blazer, and the door cracks, and just all this cigar smoke comes out. They're just like, Who is this guy? Here I come with a big old cheap and cigar. I like stout cigars and stout beer, and I'll drink it and smoke it all day. So.
Yeah. What did your friends and family say when they said, "Oh, yeah"? You said, "Yeah, I'm gonna start doing booher."
They all said, "Yeah, we thought you would." So,
they were like, "Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's about right."
Yeah, they're like once I showed them, they were just like, "Yeah, that's something Vinny would do."
Yeah, like I think it's same with similar response. Like when some of my friends who hadn't seen me in a while, they just started seeing videos of me doing this. They're like, and someone mentioned me like, and then comments were just like, "Yeah, that sounds about right. You've always been into some things. This makes sense. Like who you are. Right. This makes sense. Yeah. This makes sense." I guess does your job know about it too? Like everybody your work.
So right now I'm actually working full-time leather worker. So I'm working for myself. So
okay, cool. Even better. So yeah, just fix. So yeah, you should have told me. I should know you've been plugging your. Go ahead and plug your leather work. Go ahead and plug it while we're doing it.
Yeah, so I'm full-time leather worker with Rusty Stout Leather, Facebook and Instagram. Here for all your leather needs. It's funny because they were talking about making an Axe to Axe shirt because that's what they're talking about. I'm gonna make like a little night banner where it's like Axe to Axe and see if think that'd be pretty funny. So, but whatever night belts, banners, whatever you need, wallet. I get a lot of requests for like kinky stuff. If you want that, come on with it. So
kinky stuff, whatever you need. I got leather work.
Yeah,
people
I have a lot of slogans.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you have a store online? Do you have a website, or are you just taking that custom stuff or whatever?
So right now I'm working on my online store, but it's mainly everything's on Instagram right now. Just at Rusty Stout Leather, and that's the best place to follow me and kind of see what's going on. Working right now to get a real good inventory of stock, and then I'm gonna put it online and just continue with that. And then I have a couple places here in Corpus that I'm selling out of, community, and it's like a vendor commune, and I have all my little setup there. And it's funny because it's a metaphysical store, so they have like and cauldrons and things for different paths, and which I'm also into. But there's that, and then there's my little setup with like chains and a tooth, and it's all paint splattered. They're just like, what the hell, and I'm like the young gun, and they're like, here I come,
Yeah. Yeah, so another avenue you can use, and what I use is like the local stuff. Because I do some stuff too. Conventions, man, the cons, man, like the cons in Houston and San Antonio, and the ones in Dallas. You should be hitting those up, like a little booth,
Yeah.
and you could even be in your gear, your armor, and be like, oh yeah, I'm plugging the rest nights, and I'm plugging my leather work. What do you need?
Hit me with the sword and buy wallet. Come on.
Yeah, hit me with a buy wallet. Hey, look, so, I always tell people like. Armor combat, it's like the armor. It's not really the armor that is expensive. It is and it isn't, right? It takes you a minute to get it, but then once you have it, your one set will last you for a while, like a couple of years, right? But it's more so. What's more expensive, like trying to get to events, like trying to get to them. Travel and hotel and flights and stuff like that. That's the expensive part. So I tell people, hey man, like whatever you need to do to network yourself, or whatever kind of niche market you need to get into. That's why I'm always into the beer stuff. I'm always trying to be in the beer community because like those people like support me. They buy my classes. I got doing like several beer interviews with a couple of them, or participating in their podcasts or whatever they've got going on. Like because I support them, they support me. I get in there, and they buy my stuff, or they come watch us or become sponsors. Maybe we'll do an episode about that in the future, but definitely explore the leatherworking community and just like those things that make you unique to the sport, and kind of use that to kind of help pay for it or be recognized. That's just whatever you got to do. So I feel like
so it's funny because I have Rust No Leather, the Rust Night. And if you see a Rust Boy OnlyFans, come with it,
Hey, whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do.
What was you got to eat?
I don't blame people for doing. Hey, whatever you do in the bedroom, whatever you do in privacy home, do what you got to do. There's a couple people with OnlyFans out there. I'm not judging. Get your money, because I saw that clip. I was watching on like YouTube this clip of like the girl who had the whole attitude on Dr. Phil like 10 years ago. The girl made like $50 million or something, or some crazy amount of money. And then she doesn't even do anything. She's just like the Cash Me Outside girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. And they say, oh yeah, she's like 18 or 19 now. I'm like, first off, number one, you're a bunch of pervs. Like, first off, just turned 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I forgot all about that girl. And then apparently she's worse. So she just got even more of an attitude now, like apparently.
Oh, man.
But she's like, but you have not that she's going to jail. She's just very rude and just kind of, but parlayed, I guess, that into a music career or whatever. But then now it's like used for OnlyFans. But like, it's mostly just her, bathroom selfies and, bikinis and all this other stuff, apparently. And I'm like, y'all paid you paid this girl $40-50 million to, okay, well.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, sure. What in life am I doing wrong?
It's like that meme, like the guy in like the clown, going to my 9-to-5 job where, when someone's, doing their little OnlyFans and making, more money than them. But hey, I don't really, have any kind of like judgment or anything. I was like, hey, we're all trying to make it, and
yeah, we are.
We're all trying to have just many different paths to walk, and I think they're all valid. So
yeah, doesn't mean I'm not jealous a little bit. I saw that baby. I was like, oh yeah. Oh well, mostly my goal goes like, can I pay off my student loans? Like, can I just be like debt free for like a couple of months? Not even forever. Just no credit card payments, no car payments. I just got money, and I'm just like, at least like 90 days just to experience what it's like to be like 100% debt free, no house, no car, no nothing. It's all paid.
It's funny because my guys are the Rust Nights are crazy, and we have like a picture where there's a guy just wearing a cod piece and a helmet and stuff, and after that, we're like, I think we're gonna make a calendar. Yeah, that sounds pretty good, you know.
You know what is funny? Because like we brought that. So we like the Knights of Con, we went to like this thing called like Fay Day. It was like it's like this convention thing that goes on Fay Day, and it's not a convention, but it's a get together. Celebrating Black fantasy characters and stuff like that. They had like a burlesque show there, and the burlesque show was very popular, and it was cool, it was very entertaining. And then after that, we were like walking around because we were fighting up there doing some demo work, and we were just taking off our clothes for free. And I'm like, man, we should just do a Knights burlesque show or something. I don't know. We're already sweaty. We just start taking off the armor real slow. Just start dancing.
Just like put a little tip helmet out there.
Yeah, tip in the helmet. Yeah, tip in the helmet.
Yeah.
You're already sweaty. Bunch of guys, bunch of dudes, sweaty dudes walking around everywhere. We're gonna have to take it off anyway. We're just gonna take it off down to all the way down to what's just the underpants anyways. It's like, down to my. Might as well just say make tips. Probably gonna make more money doing that than we will doing the actual sport itself. So, so share the money. I don't judge, but help me pay for this. Help me pay for just doing this.
Yeah,
but it would be a dream. It would be a dream. So you guys said you do want to do some major tournaments. Like I guess what's number one? What's number one on the list? So next year. Usually January is pretty quiet. Usually sometimes January, but I guess the next big event is Carnage. Really, Carnage is in February. I think that's the biggest event. That's usually in South Carolina. So you guys are going to try to do that? Is that the goal? Try to get to Carnage?
We're going to try to get to Carnage. Yes, sir. We're going to try to get out there and try, and see all our. It's cool because you get to go fight all the people that you look up to. It's like, man, I want to fight like that guy. He's like, all right, cool. Here we go. So I mean, even just going to like the Warlord, just like, man, I just I've seen all his fight footage. Like he's like, this guy's awesome. Now I gotta go beat him up, and then y'all just like drop us. It's like that was awesome.
Yeah, like you guys weren't even mad about it. I was like, oh yeah, because I think you guys like before we started separating and kind of dropping, exchanging teams. I was like, oh, he's gonna do some rounds against us, and it's like, yeah, you guys down winning pretty quick, but it's mostly because of your own like just out of energy type stuff. Yeah. But no, I think, but I would say, like, I guess my advice would say for Carnage, I think it's one of those things where pacing is going to be a key for you guys because that was a practice situation, right? But Carnage is going to be way more teams. Going to be about anywhere from a dozen to 15 teams, easy.
Yeah.
So and it's going to be a long day, long set of 2 days. Days probably going to get through it within 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. For melees at the very least. And then what you'll see is, but the good thing is that that's a great event. Larry paces it really well. So usually probably have a match like every 10 to 15 minutes instead of we did that. We did ours was like literally every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes you're switching in. And then sometimes you were doing back to back, right? So, but that's how we practice. That was where we typically practice, especially going towards it into a tournament. We're going like that, and it usually does bring you up. It helps you because, if you're practicing like that, those rapid every 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 4 minutes, you're in and out. 10, 15 minutes is nothing, right? It was like, oh yeah, 15 minutes, but every 15 minutes you're fighting, all the way up until you're having, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches, 10 matches, you're fine. You'll get to it and you're like, all right, cool, I can deal with this. But the thing of it is they'll probably be longer, right? Instead of like 30 seconds, you'll have some 10 matches that'll go 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Oh man, that's we all sat around and watched on the TV, and we had one of our new guys, Taylor Voorhees. Everyone has a little fight name, and we were just like, watching Carnage, and we were like, do you want to do that? He was like, when can I do that? And I was like, all right, cool, It's like, stick with us, fight hard, and we're gonna get there, So.
No, I definitely get. I think that's gonna be good for you guys. That's like gonna be the first big tournament that I'm fully aware of next year. I think there probably will be some stuff probably in January, but this probably hasn't been announced yet. And then after that, I don't know if Carnage or something after that will be the IMCF qualifiers. Do you think you guys are gonna try to qualify to go overseas?
I mean, I'll have to talk to the boys, but I know some of us will be. So, yeah, I mean, even if it just for pro fights or something like that. So,
Yeah, so I always say like it's never because my first year I wasn't really sure if I was gonna make it to a team. So I didn't know how it worked. So how you get to a melee squad or whatever. So I that's why I trained really hard to do singles, and I still compete in singles because I still never know. You still never know how it's gonna end up when you go. How to qualify or when you qualify to be on a national team or a melee team, which melee team you're actually going to be on. You're going to be on the 5s, you're going to be on the 10s, the 12s, the 16s, the 30s, or whatever it may be. And then even if you are, how many times are you going to be able to fight more once or twice? You're going to fly overseas, and you're going to fly, you're going to pay $2,000 or $3,000 over there and you fight once, your team gets eliminated and be like, well, let me open up my chances by training in duels and singles and things like that. And so maybe I get on a melee team, maybe got 2 matches and get eliminated. Maybe I win or get, finish in the top or higher rank doing singles or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
What I know you do, I know you said longsword. What other singles categories do you do?
So I did longsword. I got thrown into it at Viking Fest last year. I had never touched a longsword and I just went at it. So that was pretty fun. But pro fight pretty much because we usually just melee. So pro fight kind of works with me because I'm kind of like my boxing, kickboxing background. So I'm real excited to fight David in November, and we'll see how it goes. So
what's your current weight right now?
I'm 215, so I'm cutting down to 200 pounds. So cutting down, gonna solid little 4-pack and just my little sword and buckler. Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, no, I think that's gonna be a great fight. Yeah, I think I would like to see you and David. I'm gonna remind David about that. I'm gonna be like, David, watch the stream. Called you out. You said you're fighting. I'm just reminding you right now. He said it on barbecue. And then we're getting barbecue after.
I said pro fight. Come on, man.
Pro fight after you. Yeah, so no, I can't wait to see it. Before we wrap up, because it's almost an hour right now. I was gonna end up with the beer, but I got a little bit left. But if you could take any ingredient in the world, and you could create your own beer, what would it be? What would you call it? And then what would be like the alcoholic level of it?
Man, it'd probably have to be black cherry.
Okay.
Like a black, just real smooth, real just milky. What would it be named? Probably Henry's Delight. And then it had the rubber chicken because his name's Henry.
Yeah, it's rubber chicken. It's in a bottle. It's not in a glass. It's in a bottle with a rubber. It's the shape of. Yeah, I got you. It's a green bottle with a rubber chicken. Yeah, I got you.
There we go.
How many ABVs?
It'd probably be like a 10. So Henry's coming in not nice and strong. Not nice and crazy. So the more you drink, the more you're gonna squawk like a chicken after that. So.
All right. All right. Well, we're coming up to the end of the show. Before we sign out and I do the last sip beer prayer, because that came back. I brought it back. I skipped the last episode because I kind of forgot about it. And I was like, But before we do that, anything you wanna plug or talk about before we go? I'll let you have the mic. You want to talk anything you want to say?
I just want to thank Armored Combat Sport, in general. It's really came in a time where I was kind of lost. I was kind of searching out where I was going to do, and kind of figuring out who I was going to be, and all the teams, and that's just worldwide. You reach out to someone like Stride, in Australia, and just there's people in Norway that I reach out to, and they really just keep me motivated. And number one, my team. My team pushes me. They push me as hard as I push them, and so that kind of builds this synergy of like, hey, we're gonna keep pushing each other. If it wasn't for the Maniacs or the Rust Knights and Henry, it would just be me, with the sword and buckler trying to go run around and jump on a guy, like a 6 foot guy. So
that actually did happen to the thing too. That was very funny.
That's happened a couple times. So
that's happened a couple times. Yeah, I was like, I saw you do that. And I was like, did he just? And he just goes. You went flying. I was like, That's funny.
Yeah.
I was like, did he just really do
Yeah.
that?
It's funny because I actually did it to you, and you just like pushed. You just literally just like pushed me off, and I was just
Yeah.
like sad kid, like you know.
It does happen to me on occasion, and I'm like, why do people do? I get it, but actually, one of your guys, you did it, and then somebody else from your team did it, and he just like, I was like trying to flip him over. He was just a little bit heavier than I was like really used to, so I kind of went falling down. He fell on top of me, but I was like, he went for a ride though. He was like, I guess I'm going for a ride. And I eventually got tired. I was like, I didn't flip him over all the way. I was like, that's okay.
Yeah.
You got lucky. You got lucky.
Yeah.
But it's okay. But no, I appreciate that. So everybody, I see some more people watching the show. You guys have missed it. I don't know who's all watching it. I think I don't see if there's any comments. There's no comments today, but there are some people watching live. You guys are too late for the show. You guys are catching it in the end. But hey, everybody, thank you for watching Beer Bad Thoughts. I'm gonna try to do more of these. I'm gonna try to do them on Sunday evenings most of the time. I think I'm gonna miss something on a couple here and there just because of weekend tournaments and things like that. But Beer Better Thoughts is back. If you guys do want to be guests, I'm looking for all Armor Combat people who want to be guests. I'm gonna try to get more Armor Combat fighters on the podcast and stream. I've kind of solved my beer problems. I got more beer mail that just came in. I got like another 2 boxes that I got to open. But with that, as we like to end the show, I'm going to end the show with the beer prayer, the last sip, because I have just enough left. I hope you've got just enough left. So with that, let the beer prayer begin. Our lager, which out in barrels, hallowed be thy drink. Thy will be drunk, I will be drunk. At home as in the tavern. Give us this day our foamy head, and forgive us our spillages, as we forgive those who spill against us. And lead us not into incarceration, but deliver us from hangovers. For thine is the beer, the bitter, the lager, forever and ever. Barman. Thank you, Vinny, Rest Nights. See you guys later. Beer Better Thoughts. We are done for the show. And I'm going to bed because I got to go to work in the morning. Bye.